let's take a look at how we will add driveway for our lot. Now, I couldn't really take the no stairs for my house, so I closed everything out. I went ahead and opened up my original house file, added stairs, and when I reloaded the site, the stairs are now visible. Now that's something nice to know, that if you need to make changes to your house, you are still able to do that. Alright, now each one of you has created a file for your opportunities map. So you already should have a pretty good idea of the way that you would like your driveway to be laid out on the site. For my driveway, I am going to connect to 10th Street. I would like for the entryway of my driveway to be pretty wide to allow for multiple vehicles to go in and out. And I will have a nice 6-foot walkway up to the stairs of my home. So to do that, we are going to click on the massing and site. What we are doing is making changes to the site itself. From massing and site tab, we will be selecting the sub-region. Sure, save my project. A sub-region is going to create a portion of that site as a new type of region. I'm going to zoom in closer to my house so I can go ahead and start working on my driveway. I would like to have a pathway that extends out to the stairs, so I have selected the end of the stairs. I want this walkway to be 6 feet wide. I want it to extend this way for 12 feet. Then it will come out towards the street. Unfortunately, I cannot cross over the concrete walk because that is already an existing sub-region, so I have to stop at the end of this walkway. I would like for the driveway to be solid 18 feet this way. I am going to extend it out here, and then I'll connect it back to the stairs. Now when you're creating a sub-region, you have to have an enclosed polygon, enclosed shape. So I come back to this endpoint and I am ready to finish that region. Now it shows me that I have a new region on top of my site. Well, certainly I need the driveway to be extended out to the street, so I need to add a little rectangle right here on the other portion of the grass. And just so you guys believe me that there is actually grass on the other side, we want to see that this is also another region. So again, we go to massing and site, we click on sub-region, and we're going to add a sub-region aligned with this driveway. Whoops, down to the sidewalk, up to the street, and here it is. When we have enclosed it, we're going to save this. There we go. Now, Revit has automatically picked out a different surface area here. I certainly don't want dirt. Instead, I would like for my driveway to be out of asphalt. So how do we change that? Just like everything else in Revit, go ahead and select it, and then in the Properties window, you are going to click on the material, click on the 3 dots, and then go ahead and select the asphalt. If you do not see asphalt immediately, you can always search in the search bar up here. So select asphalt, hit OK, and it has changed it to asphalt. Select the other portion of your driveway, material, in the Properties tab, select asphalt, hit OK. We are all set. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3D view. Look at this, a lovely house, and now as I rotate my house, I can see that I have a nice little walkway up to it. It would be nice if we added some bushes or some trees on here. How do we do that? Massing and site, and then add a site component. From your site component, you're able to look through the properties. There's already quite a few site components that are loaded. We have quite a few trees on here. I do like an apple tree. I'm going to go ahead and place a couple of apple trees on my site. If you would like to rotate any of them, you can tap on the space bar. I could also try to look for something smaller to place on here. If you do not see something that you like, remember that you can always load family and then search for landscape. The landscape is down in planting folder. There it is, planting. There's some shrubs that I would like to add. You do have the option of adding conifer trees, deciduous trees. You can add a fall tree or a tropical. Tropical would not really be the appropriate thing to add since our site is in Indiana. So I'm going to go ahead and add some shrubs that are a bit closer to the house. I'd like to add some more shrubs over on this side. Certainly this is not the only view that I could be adding my landscape from. I can go ahead and click on the site this way. I am going to go back to a hidden line view, and then you can add some more of these shrubs. Site component. My shrub is already selected. I would like to add a few more over on this end. I'm good with this much landscaping. Okay, when you're ready to deselect that, hit escape. Now, there are two sheets that you have to create. Your first sheet is already created for you, so when you go down to your sheet, you can verify that on your site plan, you do have the driveway shown, the house is shown. Our sheet looks lovely. We have to add one more sheet. So on top of the sheet, so right click and select a new sheet. This sheet should be a B-size sheet, 11 by 17, which is already loaded in this project. There are two items that we will be adding on here. We want to add, actually one item should be appropriate. We want to add a rendering of your house. This is better than just a 3D view. So let's go ahead and create it. We'll open up the Habitat for Humanity site. We know the front of our house, well, the front for my house is on 10th Street. So I'm going to go down to View. From there, I will use the drop down underneath 3D View, and we're going to place a camera. Before I place my camera, we need to make sure that we set the offset of it. Right now, our camera is going to be at 5 feet 6 inches, and remember that our elevation is about 770 feet. So let's go ahead and offset this camera at 785 feet from level 1. Okay, once you have that done, go ahead and place your camera somewhere in the front of your house. Click to place the camera and then drag out to adjust the view. As you can see, my view is not the perfect view, but I can always click and drag to adjust what is currently visible in the camera. I want to show a little bit more of my house. So our first job here is to set our view. Once we have the view set, note you do have the 3D camera that you can rotate with. Unfortunately, my camera right now is placed a little too close. It is set a little too close to my house, which is why it is distorting it a little bit, but it'll still be good enough for me to show you how to place that rendering. Okay, once you're looking to the front of the house that you like, note that this is a 3D view that you created. So in the project browser, you can find it underneath the 3D view section. How do we make the rendering? You are going to click on View, and you have a render section. You will use the render feature, And you do not want to use the draft feature because it is not too good of a quality. Instead, from the settings, go ahead and select medium. The resolution for screen is good enough for the purpose of this. Your lighting, what type of lighting would you like to have for this realistic picture or rendering? Exterior sun only is good enough. We can also set what type of sky we would like to have with clouds, few clouds. I'm going to make mine cloudy. That's probably all the settings that you need to make. Once you have created or fixed these settings, you will click on render up at the top. It will take a little while for the rendering to be generated. Please remember that once your rendering is generated, you have to save your rendering to the project, and you might also want to export that rendering out as an image as well. This is actually moving way faster than what I expected. You can see that this rendering is a very realistic looking picture. As I zoom in and out, I can see that my plants are very realistic looking. I have created a custom siding on here, and the lines are causing this little bit of distraction. You can even see the apples on the apple tree that we have. You're more than welcome to make your picture as realistic as you'd like, and make sure that you save it to the project. So, save to project. Call that rendering. Okay. Once we have that, you could also export and save your picture somewhere on a location that you can find in the future. When you're done, you can close out of this window. Now we are ready to go to our second sheet, and from the project browser, go over to your 3D views and click on your 3D view and drag it out to this window. You do want to have a nice large size for your picture. Oh, I totally lied to you. You are not bringing in the 3D view, just kidding. Instead, you need to bring the rendering, which is underneath the rendering section. We want to be able to see this realistic picture instead. Okay, this is your second sheet. Make sure you give it an appropriate name. If you need to change the number, make sure you do that. And when you're done, you need to print these two sheets as a PDF. The instructions for PDF are located on Schoology, but it is pretty straightforward. You go over to Revit, you're going to click on Print, and you're going to click on the Print section. We will be printing these sheets not on an actual printer. Instead, you are going to use the Microsoft Print to PDF from the printer name. We also need to set what are the sheets that we would like to print. So you will click on Selected Views and Sheets. You're going to select and just select the sheet. We really don't want just the floor plan. We need the architectural sheets. You will click OK. The last thing that we need to set on here is the actual size for our sheet to be created. So we're going to click on Setup, and the paper size has to be tabloid size, so make sure you select that to be tabloid. The rest of the properties could be kept at default. Of course, this is going to be a landscape orientation. Select OK, and when you're ready, select OK. We want to print these as separate files. No, I do not want to do that. Instead, I want to combine these sheets into a single file. When you select OK, this is going to prompt you to say where you would like to save your files. Go ahead and save them to the desktop and call it A101, your last name. This is going to create your PDF sheet. When I go to the desktop, I called it A101 Gallo, and here are my two sheets that were created. This is a PDF document that you are turning in.